And here we are in game one of this semifinals in the Alpha Navigators Cup weekly number 22. This is GameFriend in the blue Celestial flying his arc ship out towards the natural where his morph core is also looking to probably build an array. This is of course the standard or very common opening. Notice also that he used the surge ability to speed up his arc ship. So he's got some idea here. And this arc ship's coming all the way over here. Um, Nothing coming out of it yet. Meanwhile, we have triple imps lumberjacking across. MSRM is already with the aggression. There's an arc ship here. It sees. Oh wait, there are imps coming. Here they come. And we've got a power bank. But it looks like these imps are just on attack. They're here with violence. They chose violence this morning. They said, we could. That's a double shroud stone right there. And a meat farm or a triple. Wow, okay, this is a new version of this shroud stone attack. Now the Hexen's in the main trying to take down the prism, which you can do with enough skulls, but when you have it surge, the array surge, it provides healing to the prism, so the prism can actually out heal. The Hexen is instead going back to where these Shroud Stones have come in. There's a single Argent out now. The Fiends and the Hexen are trying to kill that Argent, and in fact the Fiends are doing some serious damage to it, as well as the infest damage. That was enough. Now another skull goes down. Two more Fiends with their high DPS. That's down another Argent, and now they're on top of the power bank. A great target. There are 3 Shroud Stones up now. The collection array has floated away, so they're not doing much over there other than being annoying. And that's another Argent down, and this power bank looks like it might be going down. So another Argent comes out, and great micro from GameFriend, but he's only getting one Argent at a time, so he's trying to attack the weak Fiends, but the weak Fiends regrow their Shroud skin because they're sitting here on these effigies, or on the Shroud, created by these effigies. Now, the collection array is floated all the way away. It looks like it's going to that down south base here. Actually, it's maybe confused with where it's going, but that's one power bank down and another power bank down. We are now into red power. It's hard to see, but looks like now we're back up into green. But now these Fiends are focusing on the creation chamber, and the creation chamber is going to be a little more tanky than those power banks, but it's the next best thing to focus on. There, you know, if you can see that your opponent's in the green power, you know there's more power banks somewhere to focus down. But they're probably in the main, and you might not want to pull yourself away. Now we're using these Shroud Stones to some use. We're going to do some creeping with them. Very interesting. Now, where did that collection array go? Oh, so the collection array did shut down eventually. The arc ship has moved forward, chose a different base, and now the forces of MSRM are going to head up into the main, but there's a very good SimCity strike node there. And yeah, they decide, let's get out of there. So very weird bases moving around here. MSRM has taken the natural so much that he couldn't even build his own base there, at least not efficiently. Whereas GameFriend said, well, I'm going to go out and take my third. And again, with a nice SimCity here with the creation chamber. And, well, what is right now a link node, but yes, is upgrading to, it looks like a strike node. And another benefit of having these creation chambers here at each of your bases as a Celestial is with their ability to assign a prime production facility, they can very quickly be like, oh, I need to reinforce here, I'll assign this as prime, and all my new units that will be coming out will come out of this building. Which is indeed what we might be seeing GameFriend doing right now. Of course, GameFriend's had to deal with that harass and super slowed down. And MSRM does have an army that's marching around, but that SimCity strike node You got to break down. You got to break down this creation chamber before you can get to the static D. You're going to be losing a lot of your army doing that. So I think MSRM is going to have to let GameFriend stabilize just a little bit here before he can tech up and get, you know, whatever tech is necessary. This is nice. The strike node is actually shooting up there. Probably didn't get the last hit on there, but, you know, it could have. Of course, what you'd really want is it shooting up there and hitting the brutes or the fiends or something. And the brutes and the fiends have decided to just head away. Going for the speed camp, it looks like here before the... I thought they might go for the Ethereum camp here, but going for the speed camp first. Single Argent over here doing patrol. Actually, another one on the high ground, trying to capture the vision camp. Recapture it back. This is supposedly GameFriend's side of the map. And now 4 Argents out, so finally a little army able to be created and stabilized a little bit. And what are they going to do? They're going to be aggressive or try and take this speed camp maybe. MSRM's force is looking quite a bit bigger, and indeed the supply tells the tale at 48 or 51 now to 28. But remember, GameFriend struggled a lot at the beginning, is now trying to recover, and is in fact making another base here. There's already a strike node there too. Now, this force could take that, but at what cost, I think, is what MSRM is thinking. Probably pretty confident that he's already ahead. Do you really want to suicide your army into a well-defended, fortified position, or maybe just preserve it? You know, take out these creeps instead, get some more income, and maybe make another base. Maybe get your tech up. You know, come back with some. Well, looks like the tech he's chosen is Spriggan tech, and the Shadow Cleft is halfway done. And I think that tech switch is going to be really good. Those Spriggans are going to do a good job against the strike nodes there. They're not going to care about the SimCity at all. Of course, they can just fly over the top. And once they take out those strike nodes, those arrays have nowhere to go. They can't fly away. They're just dead. Now these speedy fiends, unfortunately, are going to meet up with some slower Kree, and Kree just shred the fiends. So the fiends run away, as they should. And now the Spriggans are out, and they're going to maybe try and just say, can we kill this army here? Great micro from MSRM to get those fiends on top of the Argents and not on top of the Kree. But there's just so much stuff here from MSRM that that army is gone. And now this force is going to push forward and find itself with an arc station. Is it? Yeah, there's just too much here. The Gaunts and the Spriggans combined are going to take out that arc station. That's a devastating loss. Of course, arc station's not just your main building, your sort of town hall, as it were, but they also give you a lot of supply, and in the case of Celestials, that is your power. So we saw them, that GameFriend went down to red and now back up to yellow. Now down to red again, using those Sovereign's Watch, using up the power. Here in a dire strait, in a crisis situation, trying to fight off this army, but MSRM's forces are just too many that this base is going down. That's putting GameFriend on only one expansion, and that's a GG from GameFriend. And here we are in game 2. GameFriend floating his arc ship down to the double Luminite base along with his Morph Core. Here hoping that on Isle of Dread he can get that eco benefit. There's lots of bases here for the Celestials to take. That might help him get that macro game started that he wants to come and defeat his opponent, MSRM. Here in the red Infernal, but we see his strategy is already clear. The way to defeat my friend, the GameFriend, is with imps. Imps, the most terrifying units in the game. Now, I said that Theory's imps were the scariest fighting imps out there. But maybe MSRM is taking a page out of Theory's books. Now he's not flaming them on. That's one of Theory's signature moves. He's just bringing them over here to do that good old-fashioned Shroudstone harass. Now we've got two imps breaking off. We have double Shroudstone right next to each other, very strategically placed so that after they get that array, they can get that power bank, they can get that creation chamber, and maybe even this arc ship if it sticks around. We got two more going into the main, and where are they going to plop down? We got one here, Shroudstone, yep, and the other one just saying, let me, I thought save up some money, but no, going for a farm. Of course, the farm can't hit air, but will spawn, well, the farm can't hit anything, it's a farm, but it spawns the Fell Hogs, which can be pretty annoying too. And it looks like Shroudstones are up. The Argent that came out managed to get a little DPS down. Another Argent pops, but unfortunately not being microed and goes down. The first Argent was trying to get microed up in the back there. Still alive, going toe-to-toe with the Hexen. Who wins that battle? It's not clear. It looks like the Hexen did with a Skull of Shedda. The Strike Node is out though, and the Strike Node will target down the Shroud Stones, and it is, well, switched to the Fiends, which was maybe a good plan, but the Argent still goes down nonetheless. And the Shroud Stone's working on the array, and it looks like the Strike Node is too far away from the Shroud Stone, and so the Argent has to push in and waiting for a second one, and actually the Hexen teleports back right into Strike Node range. That's not great. Now, that move there just reminded me that if you are teleporting, you can teleport to Shroud Stones as well as Shrines. That's how msrm teleported his Hexen back here. Now, will this Shroud Stone get the damage that it needs to before it goes down? It looks like it might go down. And that Hexen is in a bad spot. Having used the Hokey Pokey dance already, it's probably on cooldown. We can't see that. And, ooh, spoof, it splatted. Now, the Shroud Stones in the main, they did manage to chase that array away. And that array is floating its way to the natural or third over here. Ooh, and a couple Fiends come running in to try and finish off this array and at least forcing it to pick up. It's down to 20 hit points. Very risky. Another Fiend Run Boy could definitely finish that. And we are seeing a Guardian Nexus going down, which has that special ability, I believe, while surged, can give extra armor to nearby structures. So this collection array can kind of be reinforced in that case. Now that is if he surges it, I believe is how that works. So that does cost power, and he is still kind of behind because of that harass. The having to move your array and such, that's definitely slowed him down. And we saw last time that msrm was able to take that, just that extra bonus off the beginning from the speed and the eco and turn that into a benefit. We are seeing he's returned to creeping now, msrm, and that's allowing GameFriend a little bit of time here to stabilize and get an army out of his own. Having captured the speed camp, now going for the health camp, but it looks like the units of msrm are moving back across the map, turning two of the brutes, maybe he meant all three there. And trying to get in on this array, which has already taken a lot of damage initially, and yeah, being forced to lift off. There's nothing you can really do there, but there are Argents here and a couple Creep, and they get on top of that brute and get kind of a free kill on it. And these are trying to get in to do that run by, and immediately lifted off by GameFriend. Doesn't want to lose an array. Good choice. These trees are still up in the back, so if you want to get out, you have to run past the Strike Node again and another Fiend going down. But the array also rerouting itself on the mine. This one has not rerouted itself. And these units retreating back here to the vision tower, maybe intending to creep it, but being chased away. The Argents could have kind of backtracked around. I don't know why the Fiends decided to go back up the ramp. That was definitely not good news, and they pieced out of there. And now there's just 5 Fiends left of that little strike force, and I guess they're just thinking, can I get some damage in? Took a little breather there for a second. Slow and steady wins the race, but not if you are the Fiends. You should be running around nice and quick. Now, returning to their Shroud, that's kind of smart. Get a little bit of that Shroud skin, but turning to fight the Kree is bad news. And all you've kind of done is lured the Kree here, but with the Manifest Shroud Zone, saying, how much damage can I get on your army if you're going to try and take out this sort of forward defensive position established here from that early harass? We see a Argent and a couple Kree go down already. But I don't know. I mean, all that msrm had to spend was Animus there. For the second Shroud Stone at least. And maybe worth it. Maybe not expecting to need that in the next, I think it's a minute cooldown. I might be wrong on that. Or you can use it again. But probably accurate if that was his prediction, knowing that GameFriend was slowed down and seeing sort of the size of his army, and knowing it was all the way on the other side of the map. And making the brutes wait outside is kind of rude. Okay, they are thick boys, but they should be allowed in the club as well. That's why I send an imp to lumberjack a few of those. That way you can let everyone in the club. But they were happy to wait outside while the Gaunts cleaned it up. Health camp reclaimed. We now have a small, I'm going to call it a harass force, moving across the map. Going to take the tower first. I mean, if you move your units past the tower, your opponent definitely knows what you're up to. But if you take the tower, then they maybe are like, well, was that just to come steal my towers, or are they actually coming to do some aggression? Now again, this is a single Kree split off to take this tower. That's still maybe, I don't know what's going on. But now seeing all these Kree show up here, that's got to be a sign to MSRM that, oh wait, there is some aggression on the way. But we see the same tech switch that has occurred, and these Spriggans are, well, they decided maybe I should turn around and defend my base first. And they are great defense against Kree because Kree can't hit them. Now the Kree don't mind though. They're like, I was here to kill imps anyways. And they killed a lot of imps actually. So don't call this an army, call this a harassment force, and it did its job. It killed a lot of imps. Ooh! When did this get snuck in the back here? I didn't notice this. This has probably been here all game for all I know, but there is this creation chamber trying to be a little sneaky. But most of these Kree have been cleaned up, and there's just so many sprigs on the map. But I think MSRM's... yeah, he's going to fly his Spriggans across the map and see what damage he can do. Maybe finish off some of these. Now, the way that Celestials work, their buildings do heal over time. Oh, I thought this is the new one, actually. I'm like, is it already full? No, this one is at 600, but it's still at healed up quite a bit of its HP. And these link nodes have not yet turned into strike nodes. There is a Sovereign's Watch, a double Sovereign's Watch, and the Sprigs decide to Zot out of there. It's not clear if that Sovereign's Watch was upgraded there. It looked like it wasn't doing upgraded damage. And the Spriggans come in here and find a Arc ship and also a link node that has not been upgraded. And by Arc ship I mean Arc station. And well, they did pretty good damage on it. There's a second Arc ship that just got summoned, which is a great way to get your eco boosted. They also provide power. So for their cost, they're actually pretty worthwhile to make a second one, if not don't know if you want to really spam them, but a second one helps you increase your imp production. But these Spriggans are just in his base being annoying. The Kree are over here shouting at the Spriggans saying, "Get out of here," waving their fists, but unfortunately unable to attack. Oh wait, the Cabals are here. And the Cabals can use their ability to pin the Spriggans to the ground. And I can't remember what that ability is called, unfortunately. But they are managing to grab some of those Spriggans. And then the Kree jump on top of them. The Spriggans are still engaging, though, which is probably a mistake. And so many Spriggans went down. I'm going to say, yeah, that was a mistake. So good job from GameFriend to have the right answer for the Sprigs. But it looks like the Sprigs are just returning to regroup with the rest of the army. And there is a growing ground force here as well. A nasty looking mag. Although that mag was probably tanking there based on how low his HP is. But there's a handful of Gaunts, a couple Brutes, a nice little mixture, and then still an air force of Spriggies. My beautiful cat Angel just walked right by, in case you may have heard her. She's trying to get in my face. She doesn't like Stormgate as much. She likes pets. I don't blame her. And this force is doing creeping, but we also have the force of GameFriend moving out, not afraid to being out on the map and trying to get some of that advantage. And using the Evolution Catalyst to capture this. Some Sprigs here remaining in control of the healing camp, though. And checking for extra bases. And also checking for ninja bases down here just in case. But the Sprigs have decided I'm going to swoop right in on this natural. There are a bunch of prisms here. That's what you get when you get those extra arc ships out. But the scanner came back and also tried to shout at them. Of course, not having an attack. I think it maybe has an attack when it's landed. You're not 100% sure. Never really made an army of scanners and tried to march them at my opponent. Ooh, that creation chamber goes down again. That's a free one. It's not clear actually if it was cancelled or not. Like maybe it was cancelled. There's a scanner there, an invisible one perched on the tree. When they're perched, they're invisible. And it's just there seeing what's going on. I can see that indeed there is a pretty big air force of Sprigs. But that air force is just being threatening. I guess it's decided, let's capture the health camp again. This is a great place to attack from, retreat to. If you get cornered there, it's a great place to make your last stand. And it's just good to push from. And we have, well, lots of prisms again here. So it's a great eco for GameFriend. It doesn't look like many bases, but when there's this many prisms, it's like when a Celestial builds arrays all the way across the map. This is 4 saturated bases here, with the exception that those arrays keep going down. So let's call it 3 saturated bases at the moment for GameFriend, up against msrm, which appears to be on maybe 4, 5-ish. There's a mag there. You hear the stompy, stompy, stomp as he breaks down the trees, making it easier for this army to access this base without going through the static key. The link nodes have not been upgraded yet, and they're going down. And that's going to be it for this base probably, as we have one Sovereign's Watch going down. The armies come in from the back. We have a bunch of Cabals, but they're mostly support. They do good against those Sprigs because they can pin them down. They can also elevate units up if they're ground units. Which I think is a Phoenix ability in StarCraft. And this is just, I don't know, they're doing a good job to kind of creep or move back to that creep camp, but now the creeps have respawned on them, so they're not exactly getting a benefit from that. But they're watching their base go down as they are able to preserve their own lives. A couple Scythes above helping out. But Scythes aren't exactly anti-Spriggan units. I mean, they can hit air, and so that's good, but And the sides themselves also, the good thing about size 4 Celestial is there's nothing really in the Infernal army that's great against them. That's really like, oh yeah, I want to build that. Maybe the exception of Shadow Flyers. But with that said, there's a lot of Gaunts here and there's a lot of Sprigs, and that's enough to deal with the smallish army that GameFriend has. We're now seeing power banks going down. That's going to cut into the power supply, and that's going to be a GG from GameFriend and an end to this best of 3 semifinals. That means we're going to go into the finals.